Peace, everyone. As you come in, let us know where you're from. As you come in, let us know where you're from. I believe we are live on, let's see here. We're live on StreamYard, we're live on YouTube, we're live on X, and we're live on LinkedIn. So I welcome everyone, regardless of where you're viewing from. Peace to everyone now joining. Who do we have in the building? Natasha, peace, Natasha. Welcome. We have Alyssa, Mohammed, peace. Thank you for joining. We have Jen S. Happy Juneteenth, Jen S. Callie in the building. We have Atlanta, Georgia in the building. We have Atlanta. Welcome, Atlanta. Atlanta is a great city. Do I have a beginner's class? We're going to talk. Yeah, I do. We'll talk about that when we get into it. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Good evening, Linda. Dr. Linda. Good evening. Thanks for joining. North Carolina. We got North Carolina in the building. Welcome. Garnell. Peace, Garnell. Welcome, Garnell. All right, just give it a minute before we jump in. Today is Thursday, June 19th, 2025. So the future is here. The future is here. All right. Today is Juneteenth. I wanted to purposely have this training on Juneteenth. I actually asked AI what Juneteenth was on Tuesday. AI said it was I can't even say the word properly, so I'm gonna say AI said today Juneteenth was symbolic of the end of slavery in America. So I wanted to have this training on Juneteenth. I wanted to purposely have this training on Juneteenth. AI said slavery theoretically ended on Juneteenth. Realistically, that might be a different story. So we're going to get into some of the financial freedom discussion tonight. All right, so we're going to give it just another minute before we jump in. One thing I did not write into the description of today's meeting was, one thing I forgot to write in the description was, this meeting is going to focus on the selling of options, okay? The selling of options. When I sell this cell phone, I collect revenue, okay? When I buy this cell phone, I pay an expense, okay? So it's a very basic business concept. When I sell this mouse, I collect revenue. When I buy this mouse, I pay an expense, right? Very basic business concept. Okay, so same thing applies in the option market. When we sell contracts, we collect revenue. When we buy contracts, we pay an expense. Okay, so very straightforward. I can't speak for you. I only can speak for myself. I prefer collecting revenue over paying expenses. Okay, I prefer collecting revenue over paying expenses. So today's discussion will focus on option selling. Okay, selling. I like to collect revenue. I believe you like to collect revenue as well. So today's meeting will be option selling. We'll be focused on option selling. All right, so who do we have? And we have Andrea in Detroit. Welcome, Andrea. Detroit, Michigan. We have Julie. Peace to Julie. All right, so we welcome everyone. All right, before I jump right into the Q&A, if you guys have any questions, you can drop them in the Q&A. I wanted to ask this before we got too deep into the Q&A. I wanted to ask what level are you at? I know we have multiple people on this call, all different experience levels. So where are you in your options journey? Are you a beginner? Are you an intermediate, or are you an advanced option trader? So drop it in the chat. Let me know. I want to know who I'm dealing with. Are you beginner? Are you intermediate, or are you advanced? Let me know. I don't want to talk over anyone's head. I want to keep things simple, but at the same time, I want to address even some of the more advanced questions. So where are you? What stage in your journey are you? Beginner. Okay, beginner. Okay, beginner. All right. Most people are. I see a lot of beginners in the discussion in the chat. All right. So I'm going to try to keep things as simple as possible. But if you have questions, drop them in the chat. Today, I just wanted to have a general discussion and straight Q&A for anyone. I wanted to have a free meeting for the community today. So it looks like most people are beginners. I see one intermediate. Andrea says that, let's see what Andrea says. So former buyer of Leaps, new to selling. Okay, second set this week. Okay. So what do you notice different between buying and selling? Let's just talk general business terms. Let's just talk basic revenue and expense. What's the difference between selling and buying? General basic terminology. What's the difference? Before we get into the options discussion, what's the difference between selling something and buying something? Okay. All right. So so a lot of beginners. All right. No problem. All right. Mostly beginners in the chat. All right. So I'm going to try to keep things as simple as possible. All right. Okay, so let me just tell you before we jump in too deep into the Q&A and the discussion. Let me just tell you a little bit about my journey in investing and options specifically. I have a background in Okay, let me back up. Let me start from the beginning. My investment journey started in real estate. All right, so I have a background in real estate, but I noticed over the years, real estate, there was a lot of middlemen. Okay, so there's a lot of middlemen that I dealt with in real estate. I found that a lot of these middlemen controlled my outcomes. Okay, I had to people please, I had to ass kiss, I had to pay a lot of people. And even when I did that, I still did not get the desired outcome. I still did not get my desired outcome. I was willing to people please, I was willing to ass kiss, I was willing to pay everyone. But me as the investor, I still didn't get my desired outcome. Okay. So that's a little bit about my background in investing. I started in real estate. I worked a day job many years. Worked my side hustles many years. But once I really studied options, once I really mastered the options, I'm really never working hard ever again. I'm only working efficiently. I'm a recovering hard worker. Okay. I refuse to work hard moving forward. I will only work efficiently. Okay. So my journey, what I know as my personal best practice is I'm cutting out all middlemen. I'm direct to market. Only me and God will control my outcomes. And there will be no apologies for that. Okay. No middleman will control my outcomes. I will control my outcomes. God will control my outcomes. I'm cool with that. So if you're interested in efficient work instead of hard work, consider option selling. So that's a little bit about my background. All right. So, okay. Let's see here. Lisa says selling earns money, buying is losing money. Okay. Now I have one or two colleagues that do well on the buying side of options. Now they do well on the buying side, but it does require a lot of hands-on work. And they know exactly what they're doing. Okay. So I'm not telling you to pick one side or another. But for me personally, my approach nowadays is hands off. I'm not trying to trade one day job for another. That was not my objective. I'm happily unemployed. I never want to go back to being employed. That's my personal objective. Okay. So I'm not, like I said, I wasn't trying to trade my former day job for day trading or being behind this laptop any more than I am. So I was not trying to trade one day job for another. I want no day jobs. I want 0 day jobs. So you could do well on the buying side, but for me, I prefer living over working, and I will continue to live. I will continue to buy back my time. I will continue to live my 24 hours on my terms only. So for me, the selling side works much better than the buying side. Okay, so yeah, again, Lamont says selling is money, buying is money. Yeah, right. In finance or in business, you have cash inflows, you have cash outflows, right? Revenue is cash in, expenses are cash out, right? Cash flow in, cash flow out, right? So I can't speak for you, but I strongly suspect you like cash inflows more than you like cash outflows. Kevin says sellers collect revenue by trading goods or services. Exactly, right? Exactly. Sellers collect revenue, right? You sell something, you sell your good or your service. You're an entrepreneur, you sell your goods or services, you collect revenue. You do have expenses, right? Salaries, insurance, overhead, expenses, but as long as your revenue exceeds your expenses, you're in good shape, right? Now, actually, let me take that back. The point is to have higher revenue than expenses, right? That's a general rule of thumb. But we want to make sure our margins are good, right? We don't want to just have revenue of $10 and expenses of $9, right? That's not worth our time. Okay, so we want to have a high profit margin, right? I had a training last month on profit margin. That's on YouTube. It should be on one of the YouTube channels. So consider business ventures that have high profit margins, okay? Like I said, I'm a recovering hard worker. I used to work the day job. I used to go straight to my side hustles. I used to come home. I used to study. I used to run my real estate plays. I try to run my business, and it was overwhelming. I got burnt out, okay? So what I did was sat my ass down, looked at all my business ventures, all 4 or 5 of my business ventures, and I calculated the profit margin on each of them, okay? Profit margin, just to recap, is revenue minus expenses divided by revenue times 100. So what I did was calculate the profit margin on all my business ventures. And I went harder on the business ventures that had the higher profit margin. I scaled back or I eliminated all the rest of them. Okay. My objective was to work efficiently. Okay. Profit margin is a measure of efficiency and profitability. So I wanted to scale up my business venture that had the highest profit margin and scale back or eliminate completely my ventures that had lower profit margin. My objective, I'm not saying this should be your objective. My objective was to work efficiently and be profitable. Not work hard, work efficiently. Okay. The more I did that, the more I locked in on my selling options venture, the faster I got financially free. So my general advice is to calculate profit margins on all your business ventures, scale up the ones that have the highest profit margin, scale back or eliminate the other ones. Okay. No more hard work. No more hard work. I worked hard enough for America. America must work hard for me. Okay. I'm sure you probably have a similar feeling. Okay. I left my house. I left the comforts of my house. I left the comforts of my family to go work hard for America. America must. Nowadays, I used to do that in the past. Okay. So nowadays, I send America to work on my behalf. I'd rather be at home. I'd rather be at the beach. I'd rather be at the fight. I'd rather be chilling. I'd rather just spend my 24 hours however I see fit. I'd rather be at the gym. Okay. I'm sending America to work on my behalf. I worked for America. Now I'm sending America to work on my behalf. I'm sending NVIDIA to work on my behalf. I'm sending Amazon to work on my behalf. I send Palantir to work on my behalf. I'd rather live. No more hard work. Yeah, I am a work. A lot of us are work. A lot of us only knew hard work, right? I was trained to be a hard worker. I'm sure you were trained to be a hard worker too, right? No more hard work. No more hard work. Efficient work only. And that's if I want to work. That's if I want to work. Okay? That's a big if. If I want to work, I will only work efficiently. No more hard work. I'm a recovering hard worker. No more hard work for me personally. Never again. Never again. All right. So Miss Linda says, explain options. Okay. Options are just basically, we're going to keep things very basic. A lot of beginners on the call today. So options are just an agreement. It's just an agreement between a buyer and a seller. That's the most basic way I can state it. Okay. Options are just a contract between a buyer and seller. Okay, I know I have real estate investors on the call. You can relate. If you're a real estate investor, you can relate to being under contract for a property. All it is an agreement between a buyer and a seller. So an option is a contract between a buyer and a seller. That's the most basic term I can use. Let's see. Kevin, what t-shirt? What's the t-shirt slogan? I missed it. I missed no more hard work. Was that it? Or I'm a recovering hard worker. Efficient work only. Efficient work only. And that's if we choose to work. Okay. I was trained to be a hard worker. I was trained to go apply to jobs nonstop. I was trained to beg HR. I was trained to beg Mr. Charlie. Okay, those days are over. Those days are over. Those days will I will never go back to begging anyone besides God. No more begging. No more begging. No more begging. Yeah, I'm a recovering hard worker. No more hard work. Efficient work only, and that's if I choose to work. Okay, that's if I choose to work. Have I left my day job? Have I left my day job? I retired from my day job January 20th, 2025. Okay, I retired from my day job. I retired from my previous life as a CFO January 20th, 2025. All right, I run my business full time. And now when I say full time in quotes, nowhere near 40 hours a week. Nowhere near 40 hours a week. All right, if I told you the number of hours I work a week, you wouldn't believe me. I have left my day job. I left my good day. I left my what they call a good job. I left what they call a good job to run my excellent business. I left a good job to run my excellent business. All right, and there will be no apologies for that. There will be no apologies for that. There's another bar for the t-shirt right there. Right, I left my good job to run my excellent business. All right. Yeah, we got tees. We got tees on the way. We got t-shirts on the way. We got better bars than Jadakiss. We got t-shirts on the way. No more begging. No more begging. No more begging. We only beg God. We are only subordinate to God. We are not subordinate to another man. We are not subordinate to some other woman. We are not subordinate to HR. We are not subordinate to Mr. Charlie. We are not subordinate to someone. We are only subordinate to God. And there will be no apologies for that. No begging. Begging for me personally is over with. I'm only begging God. I'm only begging God. I will not beg another man. I will not beg HR, and there will be no apologies for that. Okay, so yeah, if you have questions, option questions, drop them in the chat. I didn't really prepare too much. I'm just freestyling this meeting today. Do you receive weekly income? I can't read. Hi, do you receive weekly income selling options? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So now, in the options market, you can set the period, right? You can sell weekly, bi-weeklies, monthlies, quarterlies, yearlies. That's really up to the individual. Me personally, I kind of run weekly plays. I've got more time on my hands nowadays. In the past, I used to run monthly plays because I had way more responsibility. Nowadays, I run weekly plays. Usually, I'm not going to exaggerate. 10 minutes or less Monday morning. 10 minutes or less Friday afternoon. Okay, round up 30 minutes Monday morning, 30 minutes Friday afternoon. 1 hour a week on options. 1 hour a week on options. No exaggeration. Once you know what you're doing, why would I want to work? My life purpose is not to work. I performed enough labor. I retire from labor. My life purpose is to dominate in business, and that's what I'll do. That's what I'll continue doing. So weekly, yes, I do collect revenue weekly. I do. Let's see. Lamont says, recently left my job before I go off the deep end, and now I'm trying to make what I earned work for me. Okay, so Lamont, I got a question off that, and this goes for any entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur. Test the waters first, right? You're not going to jump headfirst into any venture. What you're going to do is maybe test the waters first. Talk to people that are already doing this. Talk to people that are already getting your desired result. And then you kind of work your way up. You kind of scale your way from there, right? So when you say you recently left your job, did you just leave work cold turkey? Or did you kind of like are you generating enough revenue where you could leave your day job? Or did you just jump head first? Recently left my job before I go off the deep end, and now I'm trying to make what I earned work for me. Okay, so Lamont, you work hard for your cash. The options market, one strategy specifically, selling covered puts, is the definition of making your cash work for you. Lamont, you work for your cash. Your cash must work for you. So did you test the waters first, or did you just jump in head first? Better bars than Jadakiss. Better bars than Jadakiss. Better bars than I don't know rap. I don't know rap. I know music. I know business. I'm not sure who the top rappers are. I know business. But I know Jadakiss can rap. Better bars than Jadakiss. No lie. How much do you have? Okay, so yeah, drop your questions in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat. How much do you have to start with? People ask me that all the time. I have a general answer, 10,000 or less, but certain tickers, depending on the price of those tickers, you can run plays for much less than 10,000. The general response to that question is 10,000 though. You can run plays for let me pull up one of my screens here. Okay, so let me answer that question a little more specifically while I'm looking at my my trading view here. Okay, so the general answer to that question is 10,000 or less. But look, if you run a cash secured put on Mara, you can do that for $1,400 per contract. One contract, $1,400. Two contracts, $2,800. Three contracts, $4,200, and so forth. So the general answer, 10,000 or less, but it could be even less than that. SoFi, for example, if you run the covered put on SoFi, say you sell a put at $15, that's $1,500 per contract. $1,500 per contract, $3,000 two contracts, $4,500 three contracts, $6,000 four contracts, $7,500 five contracts, so forth. Okay, the general answer to that question is less than 10,000 or less. Let's see here. Jen says you need 100 shares of a stock to sell options. Correct. Note one contract is 100 shares. Yes. Now, Jen, there are more than one ways to skin the cat, right? In real estate, there's multiple strategies. In options, there's multiple strategies. Okay, so what Jen's referring to here is the covered call. Okay, for the covered call, that's one option strategy. You do need 100 shares to sell a call. You do not need 100 shares to sell a put. Okay, so just for clarifications, Jen is referring to one strategy specifically. The covered call, you do need 100 shares to sell a covered call, correct. But that's not the only strategy you can run. Okay, so you do need 100 shares to sell the covered call, correct. What else do we have? Kevin asks, what are the trade-offs of selling weekly versus monthly other than more opportunities to sell options? Okay, yeah, that is, if you're on the beginner side, maybe you want the repetitions. Maybe you want more, you want to speed up your learning curve, right? So maybe at that point you do sell weeklies to get more experience in a shorter period of time, right? What are the trade-offs of selling weekly versus monthly? Just say you're a busy professional, you're a busy doctor, you're a busy CPA, you're a busy entrepreneur. Maybe you don't have time. Maybe in that case, you sell a monthly. You want to be more hands-off. You prefer the hands-off approach. Maybe if you have more time, if you're trying to shorten your learning curve, you sell weeklies on purpose to shorten your learning curves. What else? Trade-offs weekly versus monthly. The weeklies would have a shorter learning curve, but the trade-off is you do have to be more hands-on on the weeklies. On the monthly, you're more hands-off. Okay, so that's a trade-off right there. What else? Again, you're going to look at the option chain, right? You can calculate a return on investment weekly versus monthly. Maybe you're a more conservative trader, so you prefer a less ROI. Maybe you're more aggressive. Maybe you prefer a higher ROI based on the option chain, based on the ROI calculation, cash flow divided by investment. So that's a trade-off depending on where you fall on that range, depending on your risk tolerance, right? That's a trade-off. What else? I'm trying to think about what else. The biggest one I can think of off the top of my head is hands-on versus hands-off. Some people prefer more hands-on, more active involvement. Some people prefer more hands-off, less, more passive in nature. Some people prefer either. So, depending where you are, that's a trade-off. Let's see. Andrea says, "I left." I left a good job in the city, working for the man every night. Now we rolling. Okay, yeah. Options. Now, people that have options experience, options selling experience. What has been your experience? Is it hard? Is it difficult? Is it active? Is it passive? Is it a great business venture? If it is a great business venture, tell us why. If it's not a great business venture, tell us why. At this point in my life, my career, I'm trying to be as passive as possible. I'm trying to be as hands-off as passive as possible. I prefer living. I give up working. I prefer living. My life purpose is not to perform indefinite labor. Okay, my peoples did not birth me to perform indefinite labor. Okay, your peoples didn't birth you to perform indefinite labor. Okay, your peoples birth you to be kings and queens and to live your life on your terms only. So Lamont said he resigned. Toxic work environment. How many of us can relate to a toxic work environment? I personally can relate to a toxic work environment. Okay, those days are behind me. I'm never going back. And there will be no apologies for that. Okay, toxic work environment. Who can relate to a toxic work environment? Let us know in the chat. I put my hand up. If I knew how to raise my hand on this thing, I would raise my hand. Toxic work environment. How many people are currently in a toxic work environment? How many people experience a toxic work environment? Okay, your peoples did not birth you to go into a toxic work environment. Okay, your people birth you to be a king or queen. Your people birth you for excellence. Your people birth you for abundance. Your people birth you for greatness. Same with my people. My people did not. My people sacrificed enough. Your people sacrificed enough. You should be living your life on your terms only, not Mr. Charlie's terms, not HR's terms. What else we got? Drop your comments and questions in the chat. I know I'm missing a lot. I'm falling behind. Okay, so let's see right here. A nonfiction 12. What primary option strategy or strategies are you running for consistent guaranteed income? Great question. Before I answer specifically, let me say this. Let me preface this conversation by saying this. I keep things simple. Okay, I keep things simple. Life is hard enough. Okay, so I'm keeping things as simple as possible in the options market. What primary option strategy or strategies are you running for consistent guaranteed income? The simplest ones possible. The covered put, the covered call. Those are my go-to. Covered put, using my cash as collateral. Covered call, using my shares as collateral. The wheel, the covered put, and the covered call consecutively. The covered strangle, the covered put, and the covered call simultaneously. Okay, those are 4 strategies right there. The 5th one I have in my back pocket. I don't really use this one too often, but the 5th one is the collar strategy. To recap: covered put, covered call, wheel, covered strangle, collar. I keep this option thing simple. Covered put, covered call, top 2 right there. I go focus on more important things. I get my cash flow when I go focus on living. I stop focused on working. 30 minutes Monday morning, 30 minutes Friday afternoon, I go live my life the other 39 hours out of the week. And there will be no apologies for that. What else we got? Stefan, do you use a particular investment brokerage or various investment brokerages? Great question, Stefan. Do I use particular investment brokerage or various investment brokerages? I use multiple brokerages. I use multiple. Okay, so multiple brokerage accounts for multiple purposes. Okay. I've got my long-term. I'm a long-term investor first. I've got my long-term. I've got multiple option portfolios as well. Multiple option brokerages. Okay, so I've got my long-term brokerage. I've got my personal brokerages, and I've got my business brokerages. Okay, so I use multiple. To answer your question, various investment brokerages. All right. Let's see here. What else we got? All right. So Lisa says, let's go way back. So we buy stock and sell options. Buying the stock and selling the options is one strategy. That's the covered call strategy, where you buy the shares, lots of 100 shares. So just say I had cash to buy 100 shares. I can run the covered call strategy. I could sell the option on those 100 shares. Okay. So buy the stock and sell the options on that stock is one strategy. That's the covered call. Okay. Buy the stock, sell the options on that stock. That's one strategy, the covered call. Okay. That's just one strategy. That's not the only strategy. Okay. Just like real estate, you can run the multifamily play. That's not the only play you can run. Same idea in the options market. There's multiple strategies you can run. It's up to you as the savvy investor to pick which strategy works for you, which one you're comfortable with, which one you understand. And you could be financially free off of just one strategy. Okay. The covered call, you could be financially free just off the covered call. You could be financially free just off of multifamily real estate. You can be financially free just off Airbnb real estate. You can be financially free just off the covered put options. You could be financially free on commercial real estate. You can be financially free off of the wheel. So in both contexts, you could use you could be financially free on just one strategy. So before we try to master 17 strategies, before we try to run plays on 17 strategies, master one. You need as little as one to be financially free. Okay, so master one thing. I've got a general business training in the pipeline, specialist versus generalist. Okay, that's in the pipeline. That's going to come. That's on the way. So master just one thing. You don't need to be a generalist. You can be a specialist in just one thing. I believe your objective is financial freedom, right? So assuming your objective is financial freedom, just master one. Just master one strategy. Okay, before you try to do in a basketball context, before you try to do behind the back 360, 720, eyes closed, between the legs, before you try to do all the fancy stuff, okay, master the basics of dribbling, shooting, and passing. Okay, dribbling, shooting, and passing is the basics. Master the basics before you try to do the fancy stuff. Okay, the basics will get you free. And here's another thing. All the fancy stuff are based on the fundamentals, are based on the basic stuff. Okay. I used to train Taekwondo many years. Okay. I trained Taekwondo maybe 10 or 12 years. And people would join our class every week or every month. New people would join the class all the time, right? And people would come in the class first day in the class. They would try to be doing all this fancy stuff. 360, 720, eyes closed, spinning hook kick. I'm like, yeah, we would laugh at people like that, right? You just joined the class. You can barely do 10 push-ups. You can barely do 10 jumping jacks. You trying to do super advanced 8th degree black belt stuff first class. You can't do a basic front kick. You can't do a basic side kick. Okay, pump your brakes. Okay, I know you're excited. Slow down. Master the basics first. The basics is really all you need, okay? Then maybe you scale up to the fancy stuff. Okay, so master the basics first. Master the covered call first, master the covered put first. Then if you're still interested, then you scale up to more advanced strategies. Okay. The basics is really all you need to get financially free. What are puts? Okay. So a covered put just means, I'll give you a quick rundown. But what you're going to do as a savvy investor, what you're going to do on your own time is to go to AI, go to Google, go to YouTube, and search the covered put. Type in covered put. Read some articles, watch some YouTube videos on the covered put, but I'll give you a quick rundown on the covered put. The covered put uses your cash as collateral. Okay, so current market price is here at 100. I don't want to buy a current market price of 100. I sell a covered put at say 90. I don't want to buy at 100. I want to buy at 90. I'm not comfortable buying at 100 current market. I'm comfortable buying at 90. So I put up 9,000 in cash collateral, agreeing to buy at 90. On or before expiration, and I get paid to do so. That's the options context. Okay, let's talk about the real estate context. I don't want to buy my multifamily at 600,000. I do not want to buy at current market of 600,000. Okay, I want to buy that same multifamily at 580,000. Okay, so I have to put up 580,000 cash collateral. If the market pulls back to 580,000, I will buy at 580,000, but I get paid to do so. Okay, so that's the real estate context. That's the option context. Okay, what are puts? The covered put is agreeing to buy at this price, the strike price, not the current market price, and I get paid to do so. Okay, so Google that, YouTube that, AI that. The covered put, one of the basic selling strategies. The covered put. Let me see. Actually, you know what? Let me see how many questions we. Okay, you know what? If we got a couple minutes, what I'm going to do is share my screen here. While we have the AI up, let's use the AI. Actually, this is a good reminder to us, all our business owners, all our entrepreneurs, all the aspiring entrepreneurs, and even if you work the day job, you have to work in AI somehow into your everyday life, right? If you do not incorporate AI into some aspect of your life or your business, you are slowly getting left behind. All right, so let's go to the AI. Let's ask AI. Let me share my screen here, and let's ask AI, what is the covered put? Let me share my screen here. We're going to ask the AI, what is the covered put? Let me see here. All right, so let's ask Grok AI. This is Grok AI. We are literally going to ask Grok AI. Hopefully you can see that. What is the covered put? Okay. Let's see what the AI says. Okay, we will incorporate AI into our everyday lives, into our business, into our research, or get left behind. All right, let's see what this says here. Covered put is an options trading strategy where the investor sells or writes a put option while simultaneously shorting an equivalent number of shares of the underlying stock. Okay, so since we got a lot of beginners on the call today, let's paraphrase this. Let's make this simple. Covered put option strategy where the investor sells a put option using their cash as collateral. Okay. This strategy is used to generate income from the option premium and profit from a decline in the stock price, but comes with significant risks. Okay, I'm going to pause for the cause right there. I'm going to have to check the AI right there. Okay, let's pause for the cause right there. Significant risk. I slightly disagree with that. Remember, in business, there's inherently some risk. Investing in real estate, there's inherently risk. Traditional entrepreneurship, there's inherently risk. The stock market, there's inherently risk. The options market, there's inherently risk. Doing nothing, waiting on Santa Claus to come bless us is inherently risky. Okay, doing nothing is inherently risky. So any business venture involves risk. I disagree with that. Those two words there, significant risk. I disagree because if you know what you're doing, there is not significant risk. But let's move on. Short put, you sell a put option obligating you to buy the stock at the strike price. If the buyer exercises it, you collect premium up front. Okay, so for all people that like to get paid up front, I like to get paid up front. I worked hard enough, long enough, and traditionally, this is how I was traditionally trained. Work, then get paid. Right? Work myself into the ground, then get paid. Okay, now I flip the script. I'm going to get paid up front. Then I'll maybe work. Okay, I'm going to sell my options. I'm going to get paid. Then maybe I'll work. All right, so that's the game. That's my course of action nowadays. I used to work, then get paid. I need to get paid up front. Then maybe I'll work. All right, let's move on. You borrow and sell shares of the stock, hoping its price drops so you can buy them back. Okay, we're going to skip this. We're going to skip this part right here. The main idea is you put up your cash as collateral and you get paid to buy at the favorable price. Okay. Let's see how it works. If the stock price falls below the strike price, the put buyer may exercise the option requiring you to buy the stock. That's not necessarily a bad thing, right? If I want to buy a certain ticker at a certain price, that's actually advantageous, not disadvantageous. Let's see what it says. If the stock price stays above the strike price, let's paraphrase right here. If the stock price stays above the strike price, you just rerun the strategy and get paid again. Okay, P&L. Maximum profit, maximum loss. Okay, max loss. Okay, I know a lot of people are paralyzed by fear. I used to be paralyzed by fear too. I only fear God nowadays. So let's address the fear. Let's address the fear. Maximum loss. Let's address the fear. Limited by the strike price minus the premium, as the stock price can't go below zero. Okay, assuming these companies don't go to zero before expiration. But losses can be substantial if the stock rises. But losses can. Okay, so let's pause for the cause right there. Let's pause for the cause right there. Losses can be substantial if the stock rises. Okay, let's check AI right there. Let's check AI right there. This is just my opinion. Original intelligence, as of current day, June 19th, 2025, original intelligence is better than artificial intelligence. Okay, as of present day, just my opinion, original intelligence is still better than artificial intelligence. So I highlight this sentence to check the AI. Losses can be substantial if the stock price rises. If the stock price rises, I'm just going to rerun the strategy. So that's where I believe the AI is wrong. Due to short sale obligation, we're not short selling. We're not short selling. Okay. If the stock closes above the strike price on a covered put, I'm going to keep the premium and I'm going to rerun the strategy and just do the same thing every period. Or I'm going to buy the ticker at my preferred price. Okay. Let's see here. Let's address the fear again. Let's address the fear. Options is risky, right? Traditional entrepreneurship is risky, right? Okay, let's address the risk. Unlimited loss potential if the price stock surges as the short sale. Okay, we are not short selling AI. We are not short selling. Okay, so let's check the AI right there. Unlimited loss potential if the ticker goes up. That's where the AI is incorrect. Okay, if the ticker goes up, my P&L is all green. My realized profit is in the 90%, 100%. I'm going to close or I'm going to hold through expiration. I'm going to rerun the strategy all over again. Margin requirements. Okay, since we have a lot of beginners on the call, I'm not even going to address the margin. Okay, we are going to master the basics before we jump into margin. Okay. All right, so that's the quick summary on the covered put. All right, but again, AI is not perfect. You're a savvy investor. You're going to perform your own due diligence. You're going to do your own market research. You're going to do your own homework and come to your own conclusion. All right, let's get back to the meeting. All right, let's see. Lamont, could it be on any stock? Yes. I like companies like V and AVGO, or do I have to be smaller prices? If you got the cash collateral, if you got the shares collateral, you can run plays on whatever ticker you like. I've always been more of a long-term investor. You could be both, right? I'm both. I long-term invest first, and I sell options. Okay, I take some of my premium here, and I put some of that, a certain percentage of my revenue into my long-term holds. You're a mathematician. Calculate ROI on weekly versus monthly. I believe weekly offers more over time. Just my 2 cents. Okay, so there's no feelings in investing. There's no emotions in investing. There's only math in investing, right? The numbers are the determining factor, okay? So what you're going to do is calculate basic division. Nothing crazy. Cash flow divided by investment. See which return is higher. No feelings, no emotions. All mathematics. Short-term volatility versus... Okay, so let's see what Kevin says. Short-term volatility versus long-term stability. So what's the question? I'm not sure what the question is. Short-term volatility, if you know what you're doing, that's a good thing. Versus long-term stability. If you know what you're doing, so there's pros and cons to both. There's pros and cons to both. One is not inherently better than the other. One is not inherently more risky than the other. If you know what you're doing, you can cash flow in any market condition. Let me ask you this. Let's pause for the cause right there. Let's ask the chat. Will your bills be due in any market condition? Will your mortgage note be due in any market condition? Will your family need to eat in any market condition? Is your car note due in any market condition? Is your utilities bill due in any market condition? If the answer is yes, economy doesn't matter. Who's in the White House doesn't matter. Who's in Mar-a-Lago doesn't matter. Real option trader can cash flow in any market condition. My bills will be due in any market condition. Mortgage man does not care. Economy sucks. Economy's up. Mortgage man wants his note, wants his payment on the first. I will feed my family regardless of the economy. I will feed my family regardless of long-term stability, short-term stability, Democrat, Republican, Market up, I'm going to eat. Market flat, I'm going to eat. Market down, I'm going to eat. Doesn't matter. Is there a step-by-step guiding for rolling up if your strike is hit? Now, this question deals with one strategy specifically. Is there a step-by-step guide for rolling up? I believe Kenneth is talking about the covered call. Is there a step-by-step guide for rolling up? Okay, before we get into the step-by-step guide, here's the general question. What's the objective? Okay, what's the objective? Is the objective to keep the shares? If so, you're going to roll up for a debit. If the objective is if the objective is straight cash flow, you don't care that the shares get sold, assuming you are selling above your average cost. Okay, so that's the options context. Before I jump into a real estate context, I want to keep today's meeting just options. So is there a step-by-step guide? I don't want to get into the step-by-step. Ask the AI. Just type in, is there a step-by-step guide into the AI, into the Google, into the YouTube. First time, okay, I can relate. P&Ls, Jen says, my experience with P&Ls, profit and losses, but always more profit than losses if you play it safe. Okay, so now there's a lot of beginners on today's call, right? So I'm sure you've heard options are risky. I'm sure you've heard I lost a lot of money, or so-and-so said I lost them a lot of money. I'm sure you heard there's a lot of risk involved. Okay, so we kind of addressed the risk already. Everything in life involves risk, including doing nothing. So there's risk in business, there's risk in entrepreneurship, there's risk in the option market. But I want to get away from the gambling terminology, right? I want to get away from the buying side is more on the speculative side. That's more for gamblers. You've heard Dr. Boyce Watkins say that the selling side is more the house, the buying side is more for gamblers. So I'm the insurance man. I need to collect my premiums every month. I'm cool with that. I'm the house. Let the gamblers glamor. I don't like gambling. I work too hard for my cash. I am not the gambler. I'm the house. So in terms of terminology, if you know what you're doing, I will cash flow. A real option trader will cash flow in any market condition. Real option trader will get paid in any market condition. Natasha said, the very toxic work environment. Probably 95% of us can relate to a toxic work environment. Okay, so here's one thing I've done. I'm not gonna say what you should do or what you shouldn't do, but this is what helped me in my journey. I took full control of my outcomes myself. I took full responsibility of my outcomes myself. I took full accountability of my outcomes myself, and I escaped the toxic work environment. Okay, I stopped deferring my outcomes to all these middlemen. I stopped deferring my outcomes to HR. I stopped deferring my outcomes to Mr. Charlie. I got off my ass. I stopped crying. I stopped complaining. I looked myself in the mirror and took full responsibility, full accountability of my life, my outcomes, my damn self. The first minute I did that is the first minute my life changed. So I advise people that are in toxic work environments to take accountability for your life and your outcomes, yourself. You're chief executive of your life. You're chief executive of your business. You're chief executive of your outcomes. Stop deferring your outcomes to everyone else. They do not have your best interest in mind like you do. All right, so that's my 2 cents on that. Let's see here. Not anymore. Okay, good for you. Did you say that, Caleb says, did you say that you need 10K to participate? That's the general answer, okay? But you can run plays for less than 10K to participate in cover calls and cover puts, just for clarification. Okay, so people like things in black and white, yes or no? Did you say you need 10K? That's the general answer. The real answer is no, okay? In business, I was taught to be concise, okay? In business school, they taught us to be concise. Don't give a whole bunch of fluff. Don't give a whole bunch of runaround. Be concise. And to answer your question, Caleb, did you say you need 10K to participate in cover calls or cover puts? Just for clarification, the technical answer is no. Okay, you run plays for less than 10K. Okay, so I'll say no. You can run plays for less than 2,500. You can run plays for less than 2,000. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what I got. I know I'm missing a lot. Okay, so drop your questions in the chat. Drop your comments in the chat. All right, let's see. Let's check this. All right, I started with last. You can buy a stock for like Riot or Sound for about 1K and begin making plays right away. There you go. Okay, so when people ask me how much do you need, it's really as little as $1,000 or $2,000. Okay, you're not going to generate too much cash flow with that. The larger the capital base, the larger the cash flow. But the technical answer is $1,000, $1,500, $200, $2,000, $2,500. Okay, we blew that. We blew that just last week at the club. We just blew $1,000 last week on some nonsense. Okay, so if we blew $1,000 last week on some nonsense, we can run plays with that same $1,000. Let's see here. Did you use profit margin within the strategies you played, or just the companies, in terms of which play the most effective? Okay. Did you use profit margin within strategies, or you played, or just the companies? I applied the profit margin formula to all my business ventures. I applied it to option selling. I applied it to the day job. I applied it to my side hustles. I applied it to my real estate plays. I applied it to my all my business ventures. So profit margin, you can apply it to strategies. You can apply to tickers. You can apply to companies. But what I was referring to earlier was applying profit margin to business ventures. Okay, a lot of us are doing 17 things simultaneously. We're working the day job. We're running the side hustle. We're running the business. We're cutting hair. We're driving Uber. We're doing massage. We're selling weed. We're doing multifamily real estate. We're affiliate. A lot of us are doing 17 things all at once. Okay, and we're getting mediocre results out of all 17 ventures. Okay, so what I meant earlier is calculate the profit margin on all 17 of your business ventures. Okay. Pick out which ones are most profitable and most efficient and go harder on those business ventures. Cut out all the other ones, okay? What I did back in the day was calculate my business venture on option selling. I realized it's over 90%. I compared that to my profit venture on my real estate company. I compared that to my profit margin on my side hustling. I compared that to my profit margin on my other business ventures. And what I realized is that there's no comparison to option selling. So what I did was scale back on all my other things. I scaled back on the day job, side hustling, real estate, and I went harder on the option selling. Why? Because it's more profitable and more efficient. That's according to my analysis. You're going to perform your own analysis and come to your own conclusions. Okay. So what I meant was profit margin on all my business ventures. Okay. I used to be, like I said earlier, I'm a recovering hard worker. I was working the day job, side hustling, running the business, running real estate, trying to sell options. All right. A lot of us know people like that. Okay. A lot of us people know people that are door dashing, Ubering, Lyfting, affiliate marketing, what else? Wholesale real estate, options. A lot of us know people doing 13 things. And guess what? They're mediocre at best at all 13 things. Okay. The specialist earns higher than the generalist. Okay. I'm no longer a generalist. I'm only a specialist. Why? Option selling, according to my calculation, is the most efficient and most profitable. Okay, but of course, you're going to perform your own analysis. What else do we have? Investopedia, great resource. Yep. ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Grok. What else? Copilot. There's a lot of different AI models, right? I like the Grok. I use the Grok. A couple of things I noticed about the Grok AI is it gives up-to-date information. I type something in Grok, it gives me the answer as of present day, June 19th, 2025. All right. So any other option question, drop in the chat. Sorry, that's AI questions. I meant option questions. Certain strategies must be really tricky with okay. Certain strategies must be really tricky Certain strategies are more advanced than other ones. Master the basics, okay? Before you try to do all the fancy stuff, master the basics. You will realize the basics is all you need, okay? Before you try to do the super advanced stuff, master the basics. Certain strategies must be really tricky. Some strategies are more advanced than other ones. Same thing in real estate. With you know who in the office. Okay, so real businessmen, real entrepreneurs, real option traders don't care who's in office. They don't care Democrat, Republican. They don't care economy. They don't care weather. They don't. Real entrepreneur will win in any market condition. Whoever's in DC doesn't matter. Whoever's in Mar-a-Lago don't matter. Whoever's in New York City don't matter. Whoever's in LA don't matter. Atlanta don't matter. Real entrepreneur will eat in any market. Are you a real G? Real Gs will eat in any market condition. Doesn't matter who's in office. Are you a real G? Can you cash flow in any market condition? Okay. Your bills will be due in any market condition. Your bills will be due regardless of who's on Pennsylvania Avenue in DC. True. Car note man will want his payment regardless of who's in DC on Pennsylvania Avenue in DC. Okay. Doesn't matter who's in office. Okay. Doesn't matter who's in office. Learn strategies that are independent of who's in office, independent of the economy, independent of green or red or flat market. Okay, we know strategies to cash flow in a green market. We know cash flows. We know strategies to cash flow in a red market. We know cash flow strategies to cash flow in a flat market. Doesn't matter who's in office. Can you pay the bills? That's what matters. Do you have the skills? Okay, skills and degrees are not synonymous. Do you have degrees or do you have skills? They can have back my degrees. They cannot take back my skills. Skills pay the bills. Put that on a t-shirt. Skills pay the bills. Better bars than Jadakiss. Skills pay the bills. Degrees don't pay the bills. Skill pays the bills. Put that on a T. Better bars than Jadakiss. Skills pay the bills. We know this. What else we got? Don't use margin. You can though, Errol. We should soon have a class on how. Yes. I actually was trying to get this training, this margin training, prepared for tonight, but it's not ready yet. I want to come correct when I do come. I want to make sure all my T's are crossed, all my I's are dotted. I have an answer to all the questions that will come about. So I'm working on that. I don't want to come half-ass. When I come, I'm going to come correct. So I'm still working on that training on the margin. Okay, it's not ready yet. I want to make it all the way tight before I come live with that training. Okay. Did I start with long-term or short-term investments as a beginner trader? If you could do it again, how would you do things differently? If I could do things differently, I would invest in the stock market from my first birthday or before my first birthday. I would focus on skills, not necessarily fancy degrees. Did you start with the long-term or short-term investments as a beginner trader? Okay, so let's see here. Did I start with long-term or short-term investments? Now you're talking, I don't want to confuse long-term buy and holds with option plays. Those are two different things, right? So if you're just talking options, short-term options, weeklies, bi-weeklies, monthlies. If you could do it again, how would you do things differently? This is how I'd do things differently. I'd skip all the well, maybe not all the traditional education. I'd skip a lot of the things they had us studying back in the day that added no value to our lives. I'd skip all the Macbeth. I'd skip all the Romeo and Juliet. I'd study options. I'd study real estate. I'd study entrepreneurship from the jump. Okay, they wouldn't see me in a Romeo and Juliet class. They wouldn't see me in Macbeth class. They wouldn't see me in history class. They wouldn't see me in English class. I'd be too busy studying business. I'll do that. I'd skip more traditional education. That's how I do things differently. Let's see what else we got. Are your long-term holds and the stocks you sell covered calls on? This is a great question right here. This is a great question. Nonfiction, you really about that life. Okay, so nonfiction asks, are your long-term holds and your stocks you sell covered calls on in separate accounts or no? Both. Okay, I got a background in business. I answer concisely. Both. Okay, I have a long-term portfolio I sell covered calls on over here. I have other portfolios over here. I do the same thing. I run in these portfolios over here. I run strictly option plays. In my long-term portfolio here, I run covered calls on my long-term holds. Both. No fluff. Concise answers only in business. No fluff. Straight to the point. Let's see here. What else we got? Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, what else we got? Kenneth asks, if you invest 2K on stocks, sell cover calls, and strike prices hit, you recover your full investment. Okay. So let's discuss this question right here. If you invest 2K on stocks, sell cover calls, and the strike prices hit, do you recover your full 2K? Okay, so let's talk about it. If you bought shares outright at 2,000, just say the ticker was $20, you bought 100 shares at $20, right? That's 2,000 right there. Okay, so your original average cost is 20. Okay, so your average cost is 20. Now, assuming you're selling cover calls right at 20, and the shares are assigned, you do recover your full investment of 2K. Yes, plus the cash flow. Okay, so yes, assuming you're selling at your right at the $20. Yeah, here I put this on T-shirt. Yo, someone got a T-shirt business. Specialist earns higher than the generalist. Okay, don't believe me? Do your own research. Think of big pharma. Think about American healthcare system. Think about the general doctor. Think about the specialist doctor. General doctor is one price. Specialist doctor is a whole different price. True or not? True or not? The generalist is trying to run 17 business ventures. They have one income. They have one income. My bad. Right? The person running 17 business ventures is mediocre at best at all 17. The person that concentrates on one generally has a higher income. Okay. For me personally, I'm a recovering generalist. No more generalist. I specialize only. I get paid, and because of that, my salary, my income, is much higher than my generalist days. Put that on someone put that quote on a T-shirt. On the back, hashtag Better Bars and Jadakiss. Let's see here. What else we got? Is an LLC advisable at some point in option selling? If your revenue is high enough and you're looking to decrease your tax burden, then yes. I do the exact thing. I don't talk about it. I live it. All right. I don't talk about it. I live it. All this stuff I mentioned, I live it. I don't yap my gums. I'm really about that life. Yes. If you're at a certain point, yes. What else we got? All right. If you got any option questions, drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat. Before I forget, I do have free trainings, right? I've got a lot of free trainings on YouTube. We have that free Wednesday stock market class, Winning Wednesdays. That's just a general stock market class. It's not option related. It's just general stock market class. If you are interested in a consult with me, this will be a paid consult. Okay. We willingly paid out of pocket for a whole bunch of nonsense. We willingly paid out of pocket to study a whole bunch of fields that had no meaningful impact on our lives. We willingly paid out of pocket for that. All right. So I do offer paid consultations. If you're interested in a bulk consultation package, the link is in the chat if you're interested in that. I do have several clients that I meet with. It's one thing for me to fish myself and give you the fish. That's one thing, but I'm more important in teaching you how to fish. Okay. It's more important you learn the skill set. Okay. It's more important you learn the mindset. It's more important you learn the skills on your own, and you can run plays every period the rest of your life instead of me giving you fish. You can learn to fish on your own. So whatever the expense is, you will earn back way more than the expense, right? I'm a student first, right? I got the same concerns you have. If I pay X amount of dollars, am I going to get the value in return, right? So I fully understand your concern, all right? So I do offer paid consults at that link. I do offer multiple classes through the Black Business School. Those will be paid. I do have free offerings. So check that out if you are interested. Okay, so let me drop that link again. I know I'm slow with the technology. I'm better at business than I am technology, so bear with me. I stay screwing up this technology. Well, copy and paste that link. If that link doesn't work, just copy and paste it. Check me out. You can always just check me out on my website, errolcmangle.com. That's my website right there, my personal website. So you've got all the offerings there. Some of the paid, some of the free. Learn a little bit about me, my background, and I'm really about that life. What 2020? We're in June 2025, right? Scamming is on all time high. Fraud is on all time high. BSing is on all time high, right? Certain people are really about that life. Some people really put the reps in. Some people really put the sacrifice in. Some people really put the hours in. Okay, and I don't say that lightly. I really put these hours in. I take my outcomes very seriously. I take my craft very seriously. And here's another thing. When you start asking tough questions, scammers get afraid. People that are really about that life, when you start asking tough questions, they want you to ask tough questions because that only adds to their credibility. Okay, when you start asking the scammer tough questions, all of a sudden the tech doesn't work. All of a sudden they don't know who you are. All of a sudden they don't have your email address. All of a sudden they don't know who you are. Right? They can't find you. Okay. Real G's, they want you to ask hard questions because that only adds to their credibility. What else we got? What's your YouTube link? Okay, so on the YouTube link, I've got a personal YouTube page, but I don't really post much business content on there. I just travel around and post my workouts or post wherever I go on my personal YouTube page. I have a personal YouTube page. It's more personal. There's not much business related content on there. In terms of my links through the Black Business School, I'm going to give you my YouTube links that I go live on right now. Let me see if I can pull it up. Actually, let me share the screen. I can show you better than I can tell you, right? I can show you better than I can tell you. Let me see if I could work this screen right here. Let me share my screen right here. I can show you better than I can tell you. I can show you better than I can tell you. Let's see if this works here. All right, so there's YouTube right there. Okay, so let's my personal YouTube. If you want to follow me, again, it's more personal content than business or options content. Just search my name. That's me right there. Just me barbecuing, me working out, me at the fight, me chopping the coconuts, me traveling, whatnot. Okay, so that's my personal YouTube page right there. If you want to follow me, but in terms of different classes I'm on, different workout at the fight, whatnot. Okay, so not too much me and Sean G right here, my guy Sean G. So my personal YouTube, more personal stuff, not so much business related. But if you're interested in more business content, let's check the Black Boss channel. This is great business content through the Black Business School right here. I go live on this YouTube channel right here, if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Okay, so here's Doc. Let's see here. Let's check. Okay, so this is one of the channels I go live on right here. Okay, so if you want to subscribe to, if you're more interested in the business stuff, subscribe to this YouTube channel right here, the Black Boss channel. I go live on here. You might see me every week or every other week live on here. So some of the ladies go live on here. Flag New, I got some of my trainings on here. So subscribe to this channel right here, the Black Boss channel on YouTube. That's one of the channels I go live on. And the other one is the channel that you might be watching right now, Financial Juneteenth, right here. So right here, we're actually live on the Financial Juneteenth right now. So this is another channel I go live on through the Black Business School. And again, the Black Business School prioritizes freedom education over traditional education. My objective nowadays is to stay free, okay? So if your objective is to get financially free, check out the Financial Juneteenth YouTube channel, okay? Traditional education may get you a job. Freedom education may get you free. Study accordingly. Put that on a t-shirt. Put that on a t-shirt right there. Better bars, hashtag better bars than Jadakiss. So those are some of the 3 YouTube channels I go live on, or 3 YouTube channels I'm on. All right. If you want to connect with me personally on the personal level, let me stop sharing my screen here. Let's see. Stop share. Okay, let me go back to YouTube. There's my handle. I'm on social. Most active on YouTube. Most active on IG, LinkedIn. Where else? Mostly IG and YouTube. I'm active on. There's my handle right there. 416 is favorite. I'm actually active on X as well. So X, if you want to connect with me. IG, if you want to connect with me. YouTube, if you want to connect with me, and LinkedIn, if you want to connect with me. All right, what else you got? Any other option questions? Any other options questions? What else you got? Any other options questions? For me personally, I've got a background in mathematics and business, so option selling is right up my alley. Okay. I worked many years as an analyst in finance. I worked day job, manager, finance manager, CFO, all that stuff. So for me personally, someone like me that's got a mathematical and a business background, an analytical background, option selling is perfect. Okay, option selling is perfect. If you could do basic math, I'm a multiplication and division expert. Okay, no, nothing crazy. If you can multiply and divide, you could do well in the options market. I always say there's three main skills to be successful in the options market. Three main skills to be successful in the options market. Nothing crazy. Basic math skills, basic tech skills, basic psychological skills. Mathematical skills, technical skills, psychological skills. Okay? The math is easy. Multiply and divide. We all can multiply and divide. Technical skills to navigate these different platforms. Navigate Robinhood, navigate Fidelity, navigate Charles Schwab, navigate Tasty Trade, navigate whatever other platform you use. We need technical skills, but most importantly, the skill we need that's most important in the options market is psychological skills. Psychological skills, okay? Are you disciplined enough? Are you patient enough? Are you 10 toes down on your strategy? Are you cool? Are you calm? Are you collective? Or are you impulsive? Are you nervous? You scare easily? Are you paralyzed by fear? Okay. Most importantly, psychological skills. Okay. Psychological skills are most important out of the three main skills: mathematical, technical, psychological skills. Psychological are most important. Master this right here. Master that right there. Master anything in life, not just options, not just business. Master this right here. You can master whatever you want. Okay. Everything starts right here. Okay. Everything starts right here. God first, mindset second, skill set third. God first, mindset second, skill set third. Okay. What are you guys got any other questions on the options? Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Put that on a t-shirt. Three main skills to be successful in the options market. Nothing crazy on the mathematical side. We all can multiply. We all can divide. Okay. Return on investment, cash flow over investment. Okay. Straight multiplication, straight division. In terms of multiplication, okay, you know what your capital base is. You know what the premium is. You can multiply. You know the number of contracts. Take your cash flow or take the premium, multiply by the number of contracts. Nothing crazy on the multiplication side. Technical skills. Can you navigate Robinhood? Can you navigate Schwab? Can you navigate Fidelity? Do you know how to open and close? Do you know how to look up the option chain? Do you know how to search the ticker in the search? What else? Do you know how to roll? Do you know how to do these different things? Okay, you need technical skills for that. Most importantly, psychological skills. Can you master this right here? Can you master that right there? That's the most important. Okay, you master that right there. Everything else in life is easy. Okay, everything starts right here. Everything starts right here. Okay, can you master the psychology? Can you master the psychology? In business and in psychology, there's a lot of overlap. I considered back in the day, I considered doing my PhD in organizational behavior. That was one of the fields I was considered doing my PhD in. There's a lot of overlap between business and psychology. Okay, for that very reason, I was interested in organizational behavior because there's a lot of overlap between business and psychology. Okay, master the psychology. Okay, master the psychology. Stay cool, stay calm, stay collected. Do not be paralyzed by fear. Do your analysis. What else? On the psychological side, don't get paralyzed by fear. Do your analysis. Stay calm. Don't be impulsive. Don't get crazy. Things like that. Those are all psychological skills. Don't get nervous. Stay cool. Stay calm. Stay collected. Those are psychological. So all that stuff, all that psychology stuff is more important than the mathematical and technical skill, in my opinion. What else we got? No financial advice. I don't give financial. Can you suggest what stocks are the best to start with? Okay, so that's kind of before I answer that question, what's your capital base? If your capital base is on the small side, if your capital base is on the larger side, it could be different answers. So assuming your capital base is on the small side, assuming you got 10,000 or less, first, I wouldn't even answer that question. First, I'm going to say this. Understand the strategy. Understand what you're getting into. Okay? Just like any other business venture, you're not going to dive head first. You're going to test the waters. You're going to talk to people that are already doing this. You're going to fully understand what you're getting into beforehand, not after the fact, beforehand. Okay? Same thing to real estate. You're not going to buy a 10 unit, your first deal, because you don't know what you're getting into. You're going to do your due diligence. You're going to understand what you're getting into beforehand. So same thing in the options market. Understand what you're getting into beforehand, before you pull the trigger, not after you pull the trigger. Okay, but to answer your question, can you suggest what stocks are best to start with? Okay, so assuming you got a 10,000 capital base, look into SoFi. Actually, let me share I can show you better than I can do it. Let me share my screen here. Let me share my screen here. We can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's share my screen. Let's share my trading view right here. Okay, so let's take a look. All right. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'd be screwing up. Let me try that again. I'd be screwing up the tech. Share. Okay, here we go. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Okay, you see the tickers on the right-hand side, right? Okay, so let's look towards the bottom of those tickers. You see SOFI currently at 1536. You see MARA currently at 1449. What else? Those are two right there that are on the cheaper side, right? $15 per share, 15 and some change per share for SoFi, 14 and some change per share for Mara. Okay, so if you wanted to buy 100 shares outright of the SoFi, that will cost you $1,536. If you want to buy 100 shares on the Mara, that'll cost you $1,449. Okay, so if you have a smaller capital base, maybe look at those two. But before you do that, understand the theory of the covered call. Understand the theory of the covered put before you do anything. Okay, understand what you're getting into beforehand. Okay. Let's see here. Who's Stefan? Let's go back. Let's go back here. Do you sell options on ETFs? Yes, I do. I'm not with the fluff. I'm not with the BS. I'm not with the run. Do you sell options with the ETFs? Yes. Next question. Okay, so follow-up questions: which ETFs? Triple Qs mostly. The Nasdaq. Okay, yeah, actually that's a good point. The Nasdaq, triple Qs. Triple Q is currently at what? 528.99. Okay, so here's my justification on the triple Qs. Here's my justification on the triple Qs. The Nasdaq. Here's my reasoning. I worked hard for America. America must work hard for me. Does that make sense? I busted my ass for America. America must bust its ass for me. That's it. So I'm concise, man. I don't know about all the fluff. I'm straight to the point. Let me give a little more. Let me be a little bit more. Let me elaborate. The Nasdaq is basically the triple Qs is basically the biggest, the 100 biggest tech companies in the world. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm sending Microsoft to work on my behalf. I'm sending Amazon to work on my behalf. I'm sending Apple to work on my behalf. I'm sending NVIDIA to work on my behalf. I'm sending Google to work on my behalf. I'm sending who else? Netflix. Who else? I'm sending AMD to work on my behalf. I'm sending Meta to work. Mark Zuckerberg, go work on my behalf. Jensen, go work on my behalf. Elon Musk, go work on my behalf. I prefer living. I prefer going to the beach. I'm not working. I'm living. So that's my justification on the triple Qs. I work for America. America must work for me. America, go work on my behalf. I prefer living. That's my justification. That's it. Same thing, actually. Same thing you can say about the SPY, right? Same thing you can say about the SPY and other tickers as well. Same justification. What else? What else? Yeah, it makes sense. I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart. I keep things simple. Life is hard enough. Reserving my mental real estate for more difficult things in life. Options are easy. Business is easy. Life is hard. Let's see here. What else we got? There are different tax implications for ETFs. Just for your information. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm still kind of establishing my best practices with the CPA in terms of tax. Here's my general tax approach these last few years. Of course, I'm sharpening my best practices every year. Every period, I'm getting better and better. Okay, so here's my general. Actually, I don't even want to mention my approach the last 3, 4, 5 years with the taxes. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know about the fluff, man. Hasn't. Don't we get enough BS in life? Don't we get enough fluff? Don't we get enough? I'm trying not to curse. I'm trying not to curse on this call. I'm trying to keep it professional. But don't we get enough? You know what BS stands for? Don't we get enough BS in life? You know, I was in business school back in the day. They always used to be like, "Yo, man, get to the point." Someone asks you a question, get to the point, man. If you can't get to the point in 7 seconds or less, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You don't know what you're talking about. 7 seconds or less. You in that elevator, you an entrepreneur, you looking for capital. Someone asks you, "Hey, man, what's your business? What you about?" Yo, get to the point, man. 7 seconds or less. I don't know fluff. I don't know BS, man. You ask me a question in business, I get straight to the point, man. I'm not with all that BS, man. I'm not with all that. I'm not with all that fluff. I'm not with all that BS. But anyways, options. What else you got on the options? Anything else on the options? Yeah, give it to you straight, man. Life BS us enough. The corporate plantation BS us enough. Traditional education BS us enough. Okay, so Okay, so if there's no other comments or questions, before we wrap, what are some takeaways from today's meeting? Okay, what are some takeaways? What are some key takeaways? Drop them in the chat. What are some key takeaways? What are you leaving here today with? Was today a value add? Was today even a value add? You know, should you have even come to was this a waste of time? Should you have Netflix and chilled instead of today's meeting? Was this a value add? Was this a waste of time? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Was this worth your time? Should you have taken a nap instead? Should you have Netflix and chilled instead? Should you have? Was this a value add, or was this a waste of time? Well, okay, so I'm missing all the chat. Well, you read Fox, and I don't even know what that means. I'm not smart enough to know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Can you give example for names of LLCs and what type of business and what things you're selling and buying? Can you give examples of names for LLCs? Really, that's up to you. That's up to you. It's kind of like asking what should I name my business? That's up to you. Can you give examples of names or of LLCs? Something actually, you know what? That's a good question. That's a good question because what was it? I was watching somebody's live one day, and they were saying, of course, this is not. You're going to do your own due. I'm going to give an answer, but you're going to do your own homework and analysis, right? You're going to come to your own conclusion. I remember saying, watching a live one time, and they were saying, keep your LLC name generic. Okay, don't say it's A&B hair. Don't say it's A&B massage. Don't say it's A&B realty. Okay, because that boxes you into just realty, that boxes you in just to massage, that boxes you in just to doing hair or whatever. So one thing I remember is them saying, I was in a training one time, and I remember them saying, keep your LLC name generic. What type of business and what type of whatever business you feel is best for you. Whatever product or service you feel aligns with your skill set, aligns with your interests. That's hard to say because I don't know too much about your background, Lisa. I know I met you. I think I met you in Atlanta one time, Lisa. But I don't know too much about your background. So whatever, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, whatever aligns with your interest and background and your skill set, pursue that business. And what things you're buying and selling. In terms of long-term holds, what am I buying? I'm buying the same tickers every week. My long-term S&P index, Bitcoin, Microsoft. What options am I selling? I mentioned one already. Triple Qs, I'm sending America to work on my behalf. I worked for America long enough. Triple Qs, I'm selling options on. NVIDIA, I'm selling options on. Jensen, I'm sending it to work on my behalf. I'm selling options on the NVIDIA. I'm selling options on the Amazon. Okay, I'm sending America's biggest businesses to work on my behalf. Triple Q, NVIDIA, Amazon currently. You ask me that same question a week from now, here, a month from now, it could be different. But currently, those ones. What else we got? Tax loss harvesting allows you to offset losses annually if your investment decreases. This is true. Tax harvesting is a tax strategy used by the wealthy to offset previous gains. But again, I'm not a CPA. Confirm that with your CPA. I just know what works for me. I'm just going to continue to do what works for me. I'm not getting too cute. I'm not getting too trendy. I'm not getting too sexy. I'm just going to do things that get me free. I'm going to stick with what gets me free. I'm going to keep things simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. In my opinion, business is simple. Options are simple. Life is hard enough. Life is what kicks my ass sometimes. Not options, not business. This is just my approach, just my 2 cents. I'm going to keep things as simple as possible. Life is hard enough. Yes, what are some key takeaways? Know your capital base, know your premium time, number of contract, master your mindset, add value. All right, what else? Just some key takeaways from today's meeting. For any entrepreneur, for any business owner, you might have heard me say this before. You must know your numbers, okay? You must know your numbers, okay? If I run a real estate company and I don't know my profit and loss, if I don't know what my comps are, if I don't know how much my tenants pay me, if I don't know market value on my property, chances are I'm not running a profitable business. That's the real estate context. In the options context, if I run an options business, what are some basic metrics I need to know, like the back of my hand? How many shares I own? What's my average cost on my shares? What's my return on investment? What's my cash flow? What's my opportunity cost? What's my profit and loss? Okay? Basic metrics. Otherwise, how do I know if I'm profitable? Maybe I should just wing it. Should I just wing it, or should I move with strategy? Colored men in America must move with strategy. Colored men, put that on a t-shirt, hashtag better bars than Jadakiss. Colored men in America must move with strategy. Tell me if you agree. Tell me if you disagree. I cannot afford to not move with strategy in America. I know my cash flow. I know my return. I know how many shares I own. I know my capital base. I know my opportunity cost. I know my P&L like the back of my hand, like I know my address, like I know my email address, like I know my phone number. Okay? I am not winging it. I move with strategy. Okay? One of the key takeaways of today's meeting, know your numbers if you're serious. Okay? Do not wing it. Okay? Do not wing it. If you're a serious CEO, if you're a serious CFO, if you're a serious entrepreneur, you must know your numbers. Okay? You must know your numbers. That's a key takeaway right there. Know your numbers. What else? There you go. There's a key takeaway there. Master the fundamentals first. Master the basics first. I know we get excited. I know we get hyped. I know we get motivated. We get turned up. Okay? We trying to do We're trying to do what LeBron James is doing right off the bat. LeBron James put in 25 years of sacrifice. LeBron James put in 25 years of work. Okay? What LeBron James did first was master the basics. Okay? Before he did all that fancy stuff, he mastered the basics. Dribble, shoot, pass. Okay? If you're an options trader, master the basics. Sell put, sell call. Okay? Write that down in your notes. Master the basics. There's a key takeaway today's meeting. Sell call, sell put. Master the basics before you do the fancy stuff. All right. What else we got? Okay, so this is just my top 5 strategies here. I'm not saying this needs to be your top 5. Okay, the covered strangle is a little more advanced. The wheel's a little bit more advanced. Collar's a little bit more advanced. But those last 2 that Caleb wrote there, covered put, covered call, those are the 2 basic selling strategies. Okay? Those are the 2 basic selling strategies. Okay, Caleb, shout out to you. Okay, the 2 strategies that he wrote at the end there, covered put, covered call. Write those 2 down. Go to YouTube, go to Google, go to AI. Start learning the theory on those 2 basic selling strategies. Okay? You could get financially free just off of those 2 alone. You could get financially free off of just one of those 2 things. Okay? Before you turn up, before you get fancy, before you get cute, before you get trendy, before you get sexy, master the basics. There's a key takeaway. All right, what else we got? Basic math. Yeah, we're not trying to get too cute, man. I'm trying to stay free. I'm not trying to get cute. I'm trying to get cute. I'm not trying to get cute. Main takeaways, basics, master the basics. Okay, before we get cute, before we get fancy, master the basics. Sell call, sell put. Learn the theory on those 2 before you get cute. Do you see the advantage of trading under your business? Yes, I do. Versus personal, yes, I do. Nowadays, everything I do is business related. Okay? I don't take vacations. I take business trips. Everything I do is business related. Everything will be run through my business. Okay? Let's see what else we got. I learned you can sell options on $1,000 worth of stock, but you won't earn as much income you sold. Right, you're right. Same idea in the real estate game, right? If I have 1 rental property, I'm going to generate a certain amount of cash flow. If I have 10 rental properties, I'm going to generate way more cash flow. That's the real estate context, right? If I have 1 rental property, I can generate a couple thousand a month. If I have 10 rental properties, I can generate 20,000 a month or whatever. Okay? Now, let's talk about the options context. If I sell 1 contract, I can generate some revenue. If I sell 5 contracts, I can generate way more revenue. If I sell 10 contracts, I can generate even more revenue. If I sell 25 contracts, even more revenue. If I can sell 100 contracts, even more revenue. Basic, right? That's pretty straightforward, right? That's not crazy, right? If I sell 1 contract, I generate extra revenue. If I sell 2 contracts, 2x revenue. If I sell 3 contracts, 3x revenue. If I sell 100 contracts, 100x revenue. Okay, that's not a crazy concept, right? Yeah, we met in Atlanta, Lisa. What % of cash should you keep in your investment portfolio for options? There's no standard answer to that question. That's kind of like a case by case answer. That's kind of a subjective question. What percentage of cash should you keep in your investment portfolio for options? It's really case by case. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Maybe you use all your capital. Maybe you keep 5,000 on the side. Maybe you keep 10,000 on the side. Maybe you keep 100,000 on the side. Maybe you keep $250,000 on the side. It's kind of a subjective question. Maybe you keep $500,000 on the side. Ensure your LLC name is not in use. Yeah, exactly. And check and trademark logos. Yep, you don't want to start an LLC. You can't use it. Yeah. So I live in Florida, right? Florida's probably at this point the most key state in America. I live in Florida, so there's a website in Florida where you can check if that LLC name is taken or not. So whatever state you live in, I'm sure there's an equivalent website where you can incorporate and check if that LLC's name is taken or not. Yeah, you're on the right track. Waste of time. Met me in Atlanta. Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, Atlanta's a great city. Atlanta's a great city. I'll be back in Atlanta. I'm on the way to Atlanta. I'm on the way to New York. I'm on the way to Toronto. I'm on the way to Vegas. I'm on the way to every key city in America. I'm on the way to every key city in the world. What is it? Thursday? Today, Thursday, right? I wish I could make it to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia by tomorrow, but I can't. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, if you're on the call, I'm on the way. Okay, what else? What else we got? Color. Yeah, here we go. Someone dropped this on a T-shirt. Trademark this. Put this on the T-shirt. Hashtag Better Bars and Jadakiss. Colored men in America must move with strategy. Okay, colored men in America must move with strategy. Colored men in America cannot just wing it. Colored men in America cannot just blow in the wind. True or not? I blew in the wind too long. I tried to wing it too long, and I couldn't get mad. I got jerked. Okay? Colored men in America must move with strategy or get jerked or get enslaved. Better Bars and Jadakiss. What else we got? What else we got? True or not? True or not? Do you agree? Do you agree with the quote? True or not? Am I lying? Am I BSing you? Or am I telling you truth? Colored men in America must move with strategy. In terms of options, colored man must know how many shares he has, his average cost, his capital base, his return on investment, his cash flow, his opportunity cost, his P&L. Or you winging it? Or you just hoping for the best? Okay, so today's call is about options. Now, I say this in relation to options, right? Know what capital base you're working with, know your cash flow, know your return on investment, know your P&L, know what else? Know your know some basic metrics. Know basic metrics, right? There's no winging it you can't wing it and expect to win. Okay, you can't blow in the wind and expect to win. You must move with strategy. You must move with foresight. In terms of option, know your capital base. Okay, $250,000, $400,000, $500,000, $750,000, $1.5 million. Okay, that's your capital base. Know how many contracts you can sell. Know how many shares you own. Know the average cost on those shares. Okay, if you don't know the average cost of these shares and you're trying to sell covered calls, you just winging it. If I own 1,000 shares of XYZ and my average cost is $20, or if I don't know my average cost is $20 and I try selling covered calls at 16, I could be hustling backwards. Right? I must know my average cost on my shares. Therefore, I will sell my covered calls at or above my average cost. Generally speaking. Okay? There are exceptions, but it really comes back down to moving with strategy. That's the point. Okay? That's the point. Let's see here. How do you sell calls under your business name? The same way you sell it under your personal name. Is it still under your name or under your business name? If you have a portfolio in your business name and your LLC name, you do the exact same way as your personal name. Okay, so what else we got? All right. So some takeaways I've got in my notes here. Know your numbers. Do your due diligence, okay? Any business venture, not just options. Do your due diligence. Understand what you're getting into ahead of time. Don't jump in head first. Dip your toe in. Get used to it a little bit. In terms of options, sell 1 or 2 contracts to get the hang of it. Sell 1 or 2 contracts to get going. When you're comfortable, when you're familiar, when you're ready to scale up, then you scale up. Same thing you did in real estate. Okay, same thing you did in real estate. You didn't jump in on your first deal buying 100 doors. You jumped in by buying 1 door, learned the game, got your experience up, got your comfort level up. Then you bought 2 doors. Then you bought 5 doors. Then you bought 10 doors. Then you bought 100 doors. Okay, same thing in the options market. Sell 1 contract, get used to it, learn the game, get familiar. Sell 2 contracts, sell 5 contracts, sell 10 contracts, sell 25 contracts, sell 150 contracts. At that point, you tell HR to come work for you. You tell Mr. Charlie to come work for you. At that point, you buy back your time. At that point, you live your 24 hours however you want. What else we got? All right, so takeaways. Know your numbers. Do your due diligence. And here's another takeaway in business. This is just a general business takeaway. This applies to options too, but this is applies to business as well. Okay. Embrace the failure. Embrace the failure. Okay. In business, we must it's likely we fail first before we win. Okay. We must fail first. Chances are we will fail first before we win. We must have the grit. We must have the perseverance. We must endure. Okay. Then we'll win. In business, in life, I took a lot of ass whoopings. I took a lot of failure. Then I won. Okay. I didn't win right out the gate. Okay. I failed my way to success. Okay. In business, Steve Jobs didn't fail. He didn't win right off the bat. He got his ass kicked. He failed. Then he won. Okay. So embrace the failure. Don't get mad that you failed. Be happy that you failed. Okay. The faster you fail, the faster you'll win. Same thing in the options game. Okay. In business, it applies the same thing in business. My first company did okay. Okay. I kind of learned the best practices as I went along. My second business won. Okay. My second business won. I took my ass whoopings. I took my failures. I took my panic attacks. I took my anxiety. I didn't cry or complain. Actually, I cried and complained 1 or 2 days. The other 98 days, I took self-accountability. I got off my ass and I did something about it. Okay? So embrace the failure. The faster you fail, the faster you'll win in business and in options. Okay? So three main key takeaways for today's meeting. Know your numbers. Know your numbers. Don't blow in the wind. Second takeaway, do your due diligence. Any business venture, including options, do your research, do your due diligence. Third takeaway, embrace the failure. The faster you fail, the faster you win. Okay, fail forward. There you go. Fail forward. Fail forward. Okay, in business school back in the day, they would tell us to fail fast, fail forward. Fail big, fail often. The faster you do that, the faster you'll win. Okay? All good. Any final comments, questions, drop in the chat. I hope this was a value add. Again, check me out at my website, errolcmango.com. Check me out through the trainings I have through the Black Business School. Check me out for free on YouTube. I'm coming to your city. I'm coming to your city. Let's plan a wealth meetup in your city. Every key city in the world I'm coming to. I'm doing business in every key city in the world. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Hit me up. I'm on the way. I'm on the way to Miami. I'm on the way to Dubai. I'm on the way to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm on the way to New York. I'm on the way to LA. I'm on the way to Atlanta. I'm on the way to the UK. I'm on the way to Tokyo, Japan. Business is global. I'm going to do business globally. I'm on the way to your city. Hit me up. Yes, fail your way to success. Don't be scared. We already got our ass kicked, right? Corporate plantation already whooped our ass, okay? We already lost all our health. We already lost all our mental health. Ain't nothing left to be afraid of. Worst case scenario already happened. Okay, we already worked our way into the ground. We already got our ass kicked. We already lost our health. Ain't nothing left to be afraid of. There's only up. There's only upside from here. Okay, fail your way to success. All right. I hope this was a value add. Again, my name is Errol Mango, and I'm just a free colored man in America, and there will be no apologies for that. Check you out later. Peace.